Hi guys, it's me, Joseph Lenderson again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to Women's History Month for the year 2025, I should be talking about Maid in Manhattan, the first movie that I think Jennifer Lopez started. I think she may have been in other movies too, but this is the first notable one. So, let me just talk about the name first of this movie. Now, the name Maid in Manhattan, of course, we're talking about the profession of being a maid in a hotel, which is a stereotype about Latin American people. But yeah, if you didn't know that right away, you would automatically assume that it meant like a Italian wise guy person being made in Manhattan, in New York City. You know, like the Italian mob or something like that. You know, hey, no, I just got made. What you gonna do about it, huh? Bring it on. You know, something like that. Well, like maybe The Sopranos, which this came out before that show came out. So anyway, this movie is about a little Latina maid named Marissa Ventura, which I had no idea that the name Ventura was actually Spanish. I always assumed that it was something made up for movie East Ventura, the Pet Detective, and those three movies that associate with him. So, yeah, she played by Jennifer Lopez, and by God, she is awesome in this role. Now, it probably should tell you that I didn't plan on it to coincide with the Ain't Your Mama video, but it so happens that this one starred the luxurious and woman playing a very stereotypical role for Latina women at the time. Yeah, they do go into that quite a bit, talking about how it's perceived by the white people that she serves and stuff that that she doesn't know English that well. She's lower class. She doesn't deserve service, even from her own fellow service members, and they did treat her very poorly. And even some of the old women say that she's with Chris Marshall later on. They say that she's just there temporarily. You know, like a rental woman type of thing, like a rental girl, an escort. So yeah, but it's really quite funny, this movie. I think that they have this labeled as comedy or romance, or one or two, but I would consider it both the romance and the comedy, because there are some real funny jokes here and some real bangers of jokes. Also, for the same way that they portray Jennifer Lopez's character as being like a thief and an identity theft person. So that's not very true. They pulled the whole thing that they did with Titanic, with the poor person stealing a very valuable necklace from this person, from this vault, I should say, because the person that insulted the Jennifer Marissa beforehand about service industries and all that stuff, she ended up helping her out by loaning her like this really rare and really expensive necklace made of diamond and all that stuff. So it's pretty, yeah, to do, to dress her up, to make her look like a real princess. And she does do that princess thing pretty well, too. But anyway, let's see here. We have Tyler Posey as her son, Ty Ventura. Very good with the name. You know, you would never think that this kid would name Ty Tyler, which I think that Ty is actually short for Tyler, but whatever. I only know Ty from his main Tiger video game series. I wish I hadn't played yet. So, this is a teen kid with a deadbeat father, divorced from a mother, and she's always making a big excuses for why he's not able to come to the kids for his speeches and whatnot. But I have to ask this question, you know, this kid is into old music. This movie is supposed to be set up in the 90s or something around the 90s, even though it came out in 2002. But he's into like music from Simon and Garfunkel, and he's really kind of obsessed with Nixon, which I can understand the music, you know, a little bit, because, you know, it's cool music and stuff. Well, you know, what's the obsession with Richard Nixon of all people, you know, over Republican presidents like him? Because you know, what teen kid thinks about politics and old music from the 70s or the 60s? Okay, but when a kid that's written by a person that doesn't know kids that well, you know, because I was into history, and I even graduated with my degree in history and my teaching degree in history and social studies. So I wasn't obsessed with Nixon way back when. I'm still not obsessed with Nixon, and I'm not really too up on the whole. I mean, I like Simon and Garfunkel fine, but they're not my favorite band. They're not my favorite group. But yeah, it's weird. And they said, you know, why did they break up? And at the end of the movie, and she said, I don't know. I think that they were trying to imply that, you know, that Simon and Garfunkel were in a relationship with each other. I don't think that happened in real life, but yeah, could have been like a Yoko Ono situation in which a woman got between them and broke them up. I can't say that for sure, but that'd be pretty damn funny if it did. So anyway, they show in this movie, they show various how should I put this, like behind the scenes of Maid service in major hotels, like Trump Tower, you know, the Four Seasons, let's see, the Marriott, for example. They show that people in maids, they bust their butts to try to make everything specifically tailored for a certain individual, high-rate customer. Like, for example, when they have Natasha Richardson's character as Caroline Lane. She likes lilacs and I'm assuming like yoga and things like that. So they detail that that the person that experiences their likes and dislikes. Although when Tessa Richardson's character She takes the like, doesn't even smell it, and just chucks it up into the trash to make her to be the first Karen character that is in the movie, and doesn't give a shit about the other person, and in fact tried to sabotage Miss Ventura. So yeah, there is some racism in this movie, as well as a little bit of comedy. And Francis Conroy plays Paul Burns, the supervisor for all these maids. That he plays like the behind the scenes type thing, like like they show the storerooms of all the extra amenities, like paper towels, tissue paper, toilet paper, the little mints that everyone always puts on the pillows. I want more minutes, David. I want 2 instead of 1. Why are you so cheap with that? So anyway, they show all of that stuff, and they show that, of course, the Asian person, the big VIP Asian persons, gotta get extra slippers in their suite room, because I guess that it's some kind of a Japanese type of custom of it wearing slippers in the hotel rooms and whatnot. I guess it's in the house, but a hotel room, no. You can't see that happening. But anyway, you see that they also have they have Mario, Mr. Bob Hoskins playing Lionel Lodge. Like, not really on the same level as a Maid, more of a butler. So I guess that he's like one step above them, but he's more dignified and more. He considers himself one of them because they're all in the same boat with 7 people. And he even says that true character is not how you perceived by others. It's the ability to rise up from when you're knocked down, which is very nice and inspiring. I think from Eddie Valiant. And also, he also says that even though we serve these people, these rich, posh people and stuff, we don't actually, we're not actually their servants. So in other words, even though we help them, we're not below them in any way. We're not actually like their slaves and stuff. Quite poignant actually. So anyway, she has to be made to these people who I'm sure that you probably hate them. Well, as many maids and service people do hate the other posh customers who ignore them, who treat them like shit, who probably don't even know what it's like to work your butt off and stuff like that. So they serve these people, and she makes the bed and all that. Meanwhile, she's got a friend that always like to not really cause trouble, but like bend the rules a little bit, because she says, "Oh, since Caroline wants to return a bunch of expensive clothing, which I don't know why they mentioned how much it cost, like I don't know, like $5,000, $3,000 for a 3-piece suit or something for women and stuff." She says, why don't you try this on for a minute, honey? Why don't you try this on? Why don't you try this on, Marissa? And she's like, no, are you crazy? Are you fucking crazy? We don't try on other people's outfits on. So, again, she says, But this, you gotta feel the fabric is so soft. I never know how soft cashmere is, but yeah, supposedly it's soft as a baby's ass. So anyway, alright, try that on, and this is one thing I got asked you. Now, Natasha Richardson, God bless her. God bless her heart. She's a wonderful actress, and she passed away a few years ago, from what I know of. And she was a very good actress, especially in this movie. But it's like she has a very kind of like a very quote unquote standard figure, and we all know that Jennifer Lopez has a very distinct figure. So my question to you guys is, is it possible for someone to fit into an outfit that has a very distinctive figure as Jennifer Lopez to fit into more standard clothing without any type of redesign or remakes, recutting into the actual fabric in this? Because you can fit into these standard outfits pretty well for someone with a very curvaceous body, I should say, without getting into trouble on here. So anyway, she gets all prettied up, and then she meets Chris Marshall, played by Ralph Fiennes. He's a genius actor. I love this guy. He's awesome. And he's followed around by Stanley Tucci that played Jerry Siegel. Now it's funny that Chris is like a time politician, and they always keep rubbing into his face that he's a Republican, all that stuff. So he's gotta be like all tough and all you can't date anyone that's Spanish, you can't date anyone black. What will the media think of this? All that. This is way before all this MAGA and Donald Trump garbage too, about all the immigrants and all that stuff. So this is way before that. So anyway, it's funny that Jerry makes a comment to Chris about that he's something about Nazism, which is really, really funny because later on in his career, Ralph Fiennes plays the psycho Nazi in the movie Schindler's List. And I know what you're gonna say, all Nazis are psychopaths, or sociopaths, I forgot which one, but they're all crazy and nutty. But Ralph Fiennes' character in that movie, I forgot what it is offhand, but Ralph Fiennes' character in that movie, he's he's extra nutty, extra crazy, because many people make the argument that most of the soldiers were just funk warriors, even though it was horrible warriors and massive killing and all that. They were just funk warriors, like they would be on the chopping block too, quite literally. But Ralph Fiennes' character in the movie, he's really into it. He gets off on the fact of killing people and the power of life or death. So he's a real psychopath in that movie. I got covered one day. And he's also the psychopath in the movie, The Maid, which I also have to cover one day too, because that movie's really, really good. It's a feast for the eyes, quite literally. So anyway, they have they meet finds, and they fall in love with each other, and they fall in love with each other because of the kid and his love of talking about Republican politics and whatever, which is real weird because he's a 10-year-old kid. You know, what 10-year-old kid isn't that much involved with politics? You know, whether you're Democrat or Republican or Independent or something else. You know, what kid is involved with politics and like talking about the stuff? Not even Stuart Griffin is like that. He's like, I'm gonna conquer the world and name you Bible and that kind of thing. So anyway, they fall in love with each other, and she lets it slip that her name is not Marissa and it doesn't work there. She's actually a guest there, and so she takes up the name Caroline, which is Natasha Richardson's character's name. But then they go on like a date in which the boy wants to walk his great date. So they had this part in the movie which is really kind of funny that Jennifer Lopez has a very distinctive figure. So he's like a big politician with his name plus on all kind of magazines and covers and whatever. And right before the date, you just remember there were two French women that were like, you know, in the language of French because they didn't want Jill to find out what they were saying. When that, oh, she's a whore, she's a prostitute. She'll be with him for only a night or two, and then bye bye. But then the guy gets under defends her by talking French to them, and they weren't expecting that. They weren't expecting I to know their own language. So then he says something like that. Would you like to join us? And he says, you pig. And then they walk out of the oven. So that was funny. And later on they find out that they were arrested for being jewelry thieves. I mean, who would expect for little bees to be jewelry thieves? But anyway, they go into the park and the gate wants to regain, but I like the way she tries to hide herself from people that would recognize her from the service industry, from being a maid and stuff, to try to hide her identity. And I thought it would be fun. So anyway, he's got his face plus on every type of magazine cover and all that. So one funny thing is that she could just sit down on a magazine by mistake, and she said, "Oh, sorry, I almost sat in your face." Now we all have our fantasies, but so that's the one for him. That was just so funny. And then later on in the scene, they have it where she stands up and his magazine face is all over her nice booty. You know, a little bit of that jailer booty. Which is very funny. What's also funny too is that when she goes to the service woman to get her to go do a favor for the real Caroline, she's like, okay, let me see here. I should put, she goes to the girl and she's like talking on the phone about casual stuff, like to her girlfriend, and like, you have to wait your turn, you have to wait your turn. Even though you're amazing, you're having your fly and stuff, you have to wait your turn. So that then she gets all like a Jenny on the from the Bronx, getting from the block from front window, including that little neck thing that Latina women do and black women do. And it's funny as all hell because not only is she put on the hole by this rude worker, but everyone behind her is also getting pissed off. And these women are real customers, and they're being weeded upon by this woman who's being rude and unprofessional about this. So anyway, the total of like a true Jenny from the block goes. So then then later on she gets a necklace and stuff. So then you have and that's you form like a little connection there. He thinks that she's, I guess, like a higher upper class person that's hotel VIP. But really, she's a MILF. A mother in a lot of films. And thank you, Scarlett Johansson, for telling me that joke. Anyway, she's over there, the kid and everybody else, they go with this person. Meanwhile, she's trying to go for a management spot in the hotel business. Get more money. Get more money. Excuse me. Get more money, more respect. Even though people say, no one's ever gonna respect a Latino woman, they always gotta be put in their place and that kind of thing. Until later on, when she does get a nice spot. So anyway, she works her butt off with all of it, which it's a great Maid and other people work their ass off. And thank God J-Lo never worked her ass off. Anyway, they do football a little bit of romantic relation, seeing each other going out to expensive dinners and stuff. And even she said, that instead of going to expensive dinners where they call it $2,500 plate there, why don't the congressman, instead of paying for that, just go to the district where they need to give the money to, like say the Bronx, for example, or the projects or something like that, and just give the people the money, give them $10,000, let's say, rather than holding a big benefit and costing more money and all that other shit too. So then there's also another plot where Touch Richardson is very Karen-esque in that she always wants demands certain things, and she wants the yoga instructor she's with is very bitchy and very annoyed by Marissa and stuff. And even Marissa said that the clothes that she picks out is very desperate looking because she's got a low top on and trying to become sexy and try to men and all that. So she's like give it right back to her, which I gotta respect. Caleb does an excellent job in this department in hitting people where it hurts right back to them. So anyway, I'll find a whole nother world away from lonely Maid but they do get together eventually, and they do end up. She ends up giving him this nice snoo, which is weird because then afterwards she does like a tiptoe out the door to like be like a one night stand and that they can't be together and that kind of thing. But they do end up getting back together again because the kid going to one of his town hall meetings or whatever the case is to re-election and this and that. So yeah. There is a subplot that Caroline wants her name back and her identity back, so she plans the necklace. She tried to get Marissa in trouble for the necklace, like in Titanic, but she brought back the necklace to the wolf in the hotel, which is kind of funny because the kid is talking with the store person in charge of the vault, and she said to him, if this necklace is not back here by like noon the next day after this big gala party where she dressed like a princess and stuff, the kid says that yeah, I know. My mother will be arrested and put in prison, and then I'll be adopted and blah blah blah, yucky smackety. Which is a really nice image, If your mother doesn't return this and you go in prison and you're gonna be adopted, that's really nice message to send a 10-year-old kid. Next thing you know, you could be saying that your puppy will be turned into dog food. Or your fish will be made into sushi. So anyway, she can't pin the necklace on Marissa, but she can pin her for taking out her clothing, which she was going to return anyway. But then she also wanted to return it back, and then Marissa said, no, I brought it back already, and stuff like that. So then she originally praised her for this, but then she took it back. Now, I gotta say that Marissa, that the real Caroline is being a real bitch about this whole thing, saying that, you don't belong with him because you're Spanish. Or they put you're Mediterranean, which you're kind of stupid and racist and kind of sexist and bitchy and all that, and saying that because he's a white man, he belongs on with white women of higher class. Meanwhile, you're the one that's acting like a low trash whore or hoe. It's weird thing to call it a hoe, whereas the real Italian people were like a putan. Don't ask me to spell it because I can't spell it. We check shit, but yeah. She has like a white trash putan. And she does a very good job at that too. So anyway, he told her that Marissa was trying to steal her identity. No, she wasn't. You just stole your name. There's a difference because when you steal a name, it's a harmful thing. I could say that. Oh, my name is Ben Landicina or something. Or I could say my name is Dominic Landicina or something like that. Along those lines, people wouldn't think I'd be trying to do anything. Because I could even steal the clothes and wear them around, even though they were going to be returned anyway. But when you steal the identity of somebody, it's still there. their job, their social security number, their income, their job, their license, their car, their whatever else they go. You know, this is just a very minor thing, but Caroline's pressing against it like she's like Marissa did, like the crime of the century here, because she's a Latina woman trying to imitate a white woman. You know, and pretty much is that too. But still, you know, this is kind of like the overprivileged person thinking that the Latina person is like committing a crime or stealing something when she's not. So anyway, this whole kabobble gets Marissa fired from the job also, and she's all disappointed and stuff. And she's like, you gotta give your badges, your key cards for this and that, for security reasons. So then, Mario decides to, quit too, because he's a man of dignity and pride and all that, and pride in himself and all that. So he decides to leave too, and then he gives this speech back. Sharon then rising up to the occasion, and she gets fired from the managing position, and her mother also does a bunch of shit for that too, like saying that, you're a maid, that's all you go for it, this and that. I was a maid too, and this is all you're gonna go for. Now, this is big bad for the mother to say. The mother should be saying, like, you can do whatever you want. This is America. You want to be free in America. It's good to be free in America, and this and that. But, she's like, no, I'm a server at a restaurant, diner. That's all I'm good for. You're good for just being a maid, and that's it. No manager will put this for you. Meanwhile, there's also paparazzi saying that, that Chris is with mystery woman of Mediterranean complexion and all that. Not white. But let me just say that it would be more quote unquote acceptable for him to be with a woman who was Mediterranean, aka European, over someone from Latin America. I believe that Jennifer Lopez is Puerto Rican. I could be wrong on that, but yeah. So that's kind of bullshit right there. So anyway, just like this woman obviously doesn't belong to him, and that Natasha Richardson, she's trying to move in on the guy, Chris, because he's like powerful and nice to look at and all that stuff. So yeah, but she's just trying to be a Karen again, the prototype Karen. He's white, I'm white, let's get together, make white babies. So he doesn't want that. He wants Jello. He wants Marissa. So they have like a big fight in front of the media, and they break off. But here's the thing I want to know, okay? She wants to try to get a maid job and then a managerial spot in some other hotel. After everything died down and cooled off a little bit. But here's the thing that I want to know, okay? She wants to do this, but yet, meanwhile, I would imagine that all the newspapers and tabloids that took pictures of them having a fight on the street and stuff, I would think that every hotel and managerial spot would see this and say, no, I don't want to deal with that. I mean, too much trouble, too much drama and stuff. And then they would deny her job for that. So that kind of blew that out of the water a little bit. You know, she would have to go far away for her to get any more job prospects. So then the kid feels bad for her, and then he goes to one of his town halls before he goes away on national, like a national tour, I guess. So then he talks to him, and then the guy recognizes the kid as being, likable and stuff like that. So rather than thinking about the political impact of him being a Latin woman, he said, "Kid, come on, kid. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to your mother." And try patching it up. So he does that, and it's very, very nice. She ends up getting a nice little Disney princess wedding at the end, and they get a relationship together and all that. And it's so magical that it's put together by a kid. I love this movie. And the best thing is that many of her other friends that work as Maid in the place there are they get jobs as managers. But what's important is that they get manager positions, but they're women of color. So that really does show that when anybody can rise up in managerial spots if you work hard enough and you're patient enough to you get what you want in the end. It's like a Disney princess. You know, that whole wish upon a star. No, you gotta work your ass off for it. And if you work hard enough, you'll get what you want in the end. So that's really quite important for this type of thing. And I'm assuming that since Bob Hoskins doesn't make an appearance in this movie afterwards, I'm assuming that he was called for that sequel in Super Mario Bros. In which he had to go back to the Mushroom Kingdom and fight Koopa or maybe Toad. Prince. King Wart again for Mario 2. I love this movie. I love J-Lo in this movie. I love her body of work. I love everything to be about this movie. The comedy is all there. The little dig that racism are there. The little dig that she's a woman are there. And I just love the fact that she works her little ass off. I like the way she perseveres, even though she's being dunked on by everyone, even her own mother. I like the way she's always happy. When she says she's always optimistic, and I don't think she could cry that much in this movie that much. Which good strong woman character is good in this type of movie, especially for the fact that the kid has that he has a kid to try to be open up for him. Was it good? No. I just love this movie to bits. She's good. Girlfriend's good. Telling she is good as always. Kid's good too. Even though he does remind me a lot of Mario Lopez. Which is a good thing. I just love this movie to bits. I love the message it conveys. I love Bob Hoskins' speech at the end about service and servers and that they don't own us and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. I love his equalizing thing too. He might be above them in job position, but he's still a human being like the others are. and he liked the thing for camaraderie under the service industry. So yeah, I thank you for watching my video on the movie Maid in Manhattan. It was a very good romantic comedy, and it was a very good way for to show that interracial relationships are actually better than monocultural relationships. And very accepting of the fact that she's getting from the block, and then she marries a Republican senator. Even though sometimes that might be fictional nowadays. But I'm glad that they didn't go into the whole immigrant thing, because that would have been very, very bad for now. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I did this for Women's History Month in 2025. As you can tell, I get my wholehearted, happy face still approval, because it's an awesome movie from the beginning to the end. From her head to her toes, she's excellent as an actress. So is Rob Fiennes. And Tasha Richardson plays an excellent role as the bitchy Caroline. And by the way, all the relationship stuff up until the live reveal thing is Marissa pretending to be Caroline so that she would like the guy. Then so that the guy would like her. But when it's revealed that she's not really who she says she is, he still likes her for who she is. For her personality, for her likes, dislikes, for her accent, this and that. Which is a pretty good thing. Pretty good for someone like Chris to accept Miss Ventura for who she is, and for getting rid of the deadbeat father of her ex-husband. Anyway, if you like what you see here and you want to see more of my videos, you can always like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also give me future ideas for my future content by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707, or you can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at Pete Nelson Pro. My email is jjsviewingfilm@gmail.com. So, I salute all you Maid service members, people who are just working the butt to provide for the family. You're in my heart always. And peace out, my brothers and sisters. And sayonara, Vincent, bye bye to all you girls and guys in internet land. I'll see you in the next video.